Molweni, Dumelang, Absheni, Sanbonani, Huemora, good morning, and a very warm welcome to the Golden Circle Women's. My name is Nzinga Kunta. I'm a business news anchor, and it's my great pleasure and privilege to be facilitating this Golden Circle during Women's Month with phenomenal women entrepreneurs and judges. Golden Circle is a Motsepe Foundation platform for emerging and semi-established young entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs selected have demonstrated their ability of their business while enabling the social good. Today's Golden Circle Entrepreneurs session is a chance for entrepreneurs to pitch their big ideas to our judges who have decades of experience in their respective fields. How it will work is that 3 entrepreneurs selected based on a preceding video submission will each have 3 minutes to pitch their ideas to the judges. After each pitch, the judging panel has a few minutes to ask questions of each entrepreneur that probe the idea further. Please can I ask that we make sure as entrepreneurs we keep our pitches to 3 minutes or less, and as judges you take up 10 collective minutes to ask any questions you have of the entrepreneurs. When the pitches and Q&A are done, the judges will score and deliberate privately in order to determine the winner. Our judges today are Refulu Nkarimeng, the CFO of African Rainbow Capital, Dr. Judy Dlamini, the founding chairman of the Mbekani Group, and Dr. Ntabiseng Moleko, who is the chairperson of the National Empowerment Fund. Golden Circle is one of the initiatives of the Motsepe Foundation whose mission is to improve quality of life for all, including the unemployed, women, youth, and the marginalized communities in South Africa. The foundation was founded on the philosophy of Ubuntu, which is the African concept of giving and caring for your neighbor and other members of your community. One of the many things that the foundation does is support projects that have the potential to assist beneficiaries in becoming self-reliant. Dr. Patrice Motsepe and Dr. Precious Moloi Motsepe founded the Motsepe Foundation in 1999, and I'd now like to ask Dr. Moloi Motsepe to make her way to the stage to welcome us.
Thank you very much. I actually don't have to do much work. You've done most of the work introducing the foundation and what we do. So I wear so many hats. This side of the event is really my foundation side of the hat that I wear with the foundation. The other side at AFI is the fun part where you guys are going driving and everything. But the idea behind this Golden Circle is to really empower young people. I was talking to the judges earlier, and we just appreciate how lucky we were as young people to be given opportunities, and that's the key word, being given opportunities to become who we have become, do the things that we have done. So what we did with the foundation earlier this year, actually it was during June month, we had been very concerned about the high unemployment rates in our country, particularly amongst our young graduates. So we created this expo, which we hosted at the convention center with 900 young people and others who joined us online. We invited companies who were so responsive, and the idea was to match companies with our unemployed graduates, to just even give them an intention that they can be doing something and learn and have something on their CV. And that was really successful. And the Golden Circle was born of that initiative, where we now identify young people who are doing amazing things, really inspiring young people who just need a hand up, and be given advice on how to go about with their entrepreneurship. One of the judges was laughing when I said that we shouldn't be looking for employment. We should be creating employment. And if you want to become a CEO, you start your own company. Then you become CEO of your own company, okay? All the way to the C-suite. So thank you so much for joining us, and good luck to our contestants. We are here to hear you and support you. So thank you to our judges also for making time. You guys are so busy with other things. It really means a lot to us. Thank you, everyone.
All right, we'll begin our program with our first pitch. Our first pitch is from Enlighten Edu. It's a platform that aims to assist learners to better their performance at school, as well as a place for talented tutors to find work and lighten the academic burden and admin burden for tutoring companies. Its features include reporting, analytics, and gamification. Apiwe Hotele, can I please ask you to make your way to the stage for your pitch? And a round of applause for her, please, as she does so.
I don't know if people can see me. It's rare to find a space for us short people. Okay. Can I start? Thank you. Growing up, I did not have a maths and science teacher. This affected my learning drastically. I managed to have a level C in mathematics, which was not good enough for medicine, what I wanted to study at the time. During my depression days, I would hear students complaining about how hard mathematics is and how they wanted to quit because they didn't have a teacher. I suddenly realized that I am not alone. There are so many Apiwes. I dedicated myself from that day onwards to finding a solution to this problem. Upon graduating BSc Computer Science cum laude, I started working on Enlighten Edu. Esteemed judges and audience, good morning. My name is Apiwe Hotele, the founder and director of Enlighten Edu. We provide a platform for learners to better their education in school, for talented tutors to find work, and to lighten the administrative burden for tutoring companies. We integrate important and fun features such as gamification, reporting, and analytics to our service to ensure that learners are kept motivated, parents informed, and tutors busy. Our platform ensures that learners use a single platform and do not need to download multiple applications for learning. We charge private tutors and tutoring companies 20% of the total fee they charge the student. We intend to invest the 80,000 towards our marketing to raise awareness about our platform and generate leads. We understand that not all learners can afford, and that is why we recently launched Adopt a Learner campaign, calling on individuals and companies to adopt a learner for 500 Rand per month per subject, allowing the learners to receive 4 sessions on our platform. We empower people by providing quality edutech solutions with the aim of creating a society that is confident in maths and science, regardless of their background, gender, race, or age. We invite you to walk this journey with us as we pioneer the next generation of STEM leaders that actively participate in the global knowledge economy. I thank you.
Good morning, Apiwe.
Good morning, ma'am.
Happy Women's Month. And
Thank you.
congratulations on your background, which didn't become a hindrance, but you're actually changing lives because of what you experienced. Mine is clarification. Financials are important. I need to understand, one, how much you charge per student, and also what platform, what's the device that the students have to use, because it talks to accessibility. And as you know, the least empowered schools have access to what you are offering. And somewhere you talk about schools and tutoring companies that pay a fee. How much is that fee? I just need to understand the numbers.
Okay. Thank you so much for your question. So first of all, we do not have any tutors that belong to Enlighten Edu. We provide a service that allows talented tutors, so private tutors and tutoring companies, to make use of our platform. So we charge them 20% of whatever amount they are charging the student. So if you are charging the student 100 Rand per session, then we will charge 20 Rand for that particular session from you as a tutoring company or a private tutor for using our service. So our platform is a web application. And this, initially when we started, we wanted to go with a mobile application. However, when we started interacting with students, particularly from the Eastern Cape in Butterworth and the Northern Cape in Carnarvon, where we did our pilot in 2020, we found out that a lot of students use mobile phones that do not have space. So we then integrated our platform to make sure that we have a web application, meaning as long as you have a Firefox or a Google Chrome, you are able to access our platform as opposed to needing to download it from Google Play or any other platform like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Apiwe, and congratulations on reaching up to this far.
Thank you.
My question is mainly around access for, data if your application requires data. What thoughts do you have in making this accessible to the kids from the rural areas who might not have access to data?
Thank you. So data accessibility is one of the biggest challenges we also worried about within the platform. My long-term vision is, first of all, the platform does require data, so I'm not going to lie about that. My long-term vision is to sort of like have a platform like this be adopted by the Department of Education, and then eventually be able to have a one of the, either Vodacom or MTN, ensure that there is data accessibility to students that cannot afford at this stage. So what we've done, for example, with the pilot that we ran in Carnarvon in 2020, we rallied companies to adopt these students and provide them with data so that they were then able to access our platform. So that's what we normally do for students that cannot afford, going hand in hand with our Adopt to Learn program that we've recently launched.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Apiwe. Seems like it's
I can hear you though.
all right. A very good morning to everyone and to yourself as well for this amazing idea. I want to know more about the gamification that you spoke about,
Okay.
and you haven't explained a little much about it. Tell us what does that entail? You talked about the application itself. You haven't spoken a lot about you use games to help young people actually enjoy maths and science more. And then the second aspect is, can you tell us how your application actually improves maths and science outcomes? Have you got evidence that shows that actually by using your app, the performance of the students and the learners is actually improved?
Okay.
So I think that's very imperative for your application.
Awesome.
I think it's an awesome idea.
Thank you so much. So with your first question, so what we have on our gamification, we have a learner of the month and tutor of the month. And that is really, so if you get to be selected as a learner of the month, and that is quite calculated from the aggregate. So our students on our platform are able to have a session, like a Zoom session that you would have on Zoom, and then complete assignments and so on our platform. So that aggregate is then calculated, and then the student then is selected on whether to become a tutor of the month or the learner of the month. If you are selected as a learner of the month, what we've then done is we've partnered with the South African Radio Astronomy Observatory, where we allow students to then go and see the telescope in the Northern Cape. We are still rallying other companies to also get involved, but the aim of that is to really get students experience what it is to be an engineer, what it is to be a scientist, which is something that is not necessarily quite common in our daily lives. Sorry, what was your second question?
The one was about the games. How do you use games? So explain the gamification aspect. And then the other aspect is prove how the aptitude or the competence of maths and science from a cognitive perspective has improved?
Okay, so our platform, the way that we want to improve math and science is by ensuring that the students have access to private tutors. So then in that way, they would then have a session with the private tutor, one-on-one, or a group up until 4 people, where the private tutor would then explain to them the concepts of mathematics and so on and so forth. So in 2020, we ran our very first pilot in the rural Northern Cape, a school called Carnarvon High School. And this is where we're able to see that there is growth. We chose to go with Carnarvon High School because it was really rural, and we wanted to test how our platform would perform in such a scenario. The students were supposed to run the platform from April till July. However, majority of those students are still using the platform up until today. For the first 3 months, we provided them with data, but we realized that as months went by, they actually continued to use the platform, buying their own data, meaning they had found value in the platform. We are proud to say that last year in December, we had our very first student that was part of that actually received a 79 in mathematics and physical science. We were still trying to get the Department of Education to give her 1%, but we didn't succeed. We didn't succeed. So I think for me, it's really about making a difference on one learner. So that one learner really probed me to continue and keep moving. So yeah.
Can you just share what was the entry level score when the learner came in?
So when the learner started, and this is the other thing. So and this is the other thing that we really pride, or I really pride myself in. I always want to go for the students that are not performing, like myself, because I was also never an A student. So a lot of the times when people would look at me, they would think, oh, but you're just getting a 50, a 60, you're nothing. So that student was getting 50s and 60s as well when we started. So it's really for me about empowering that learner and allowing them to see what the possibilities ahead of her are. And that is really what we, what that was with the learner. But I think it was also quite important that we had a session with the parents in Carnarvon High School. So I have met the learner's guardian, and they were also interested in seeing their learner grow, which shows the importance of the support structure. So I would say I wouldn't necessarily take full credit for that learner, because I think also the support they got from the parents was also quite useful.
Are you able to share how many learners you have currently on the platform? One, you've actually spoken about data as one of the challenges that you face. What other challenges are you facing?
So so currently at our platform that are currently utilizing the platform. However, I must also just mention that, and I think this is my very big shortcoming. A lot of these learners access the platform for free. And they've been volunteers from tutors that have been assisting these learners. And I think that for me has given me enough space to kind of test the platform fully. Challenges that I've really encountered mostly is with the aptitude. A lot of schools, when I visit a lot of schools, they are still very uncomfortable about technology. So it helps a lot that at times I target your parents' meetings to talk about the platform. I find that that is much more simpler than going straight to the principals and the teachers. So that has been one of my biggest challenges with regards to the platform. The biggest challenges on the company itself is really that it's been a really lonely journey. And when I started, like I said, I was, I had just come out of university. So I've made a lot of mistakes because at the time I didn't have project management experience, didn't know anything about legal or anything along those spaces. So for example, the first pilot we did with a bunch of guys that I worked with, they walked away with the code. So yeah, and I had no legal grounds to stand on and say, no, but this is mine. So those were, yeah. Sorry.
But that's how you learn. It's a vicious industry, no matter which sector you choose. I'm so sorry about that. I hope you became stronger. from it.
I did. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing and being vulnerable. My follow-on question will be in terms of the competition landscape. Who are your competitors and how do you differ from the services that they are offering?
Okay. Sorry about that. So at the moment, I would actually say we don't necessarily have direct competitors. Our main competitors, I could say, are tutoring companies because they are also targeting the same students we are targeting. However, I do not necessarily see them as competition because most of tutoring companies in South Africa utilize Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and so on. So therefore, if we provide a platform to them, then they don't necessarily become our competitors. Then they then become part of the customers that we could service. So at the moment, we don't necessarily have a platform like ours because what our platform stands out by is that it's an integrated platform where you're able to do everything on the platform. So all the way from scheduling, matching the student, downloading the reports, informing you how the learner is doing, and then diagnosing exactly the areas that the learner needs to focus on the platform.
You there? Thank you so much. The 10 minutes from the judges is up and your 3 minutes is up.
Thank you.
Yeah. We unfortunately can't because we need to allocate the same amount of time.
Okay.
I don't like that I'm being this person. Thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing your journey with us. From a company called LeeConnect, which is an app that aims to give disadvantaged learners the opportunity to further their studies. It's a service that helps young people with bursary applications, and once the students get to university, assistance there as well. It also gives career guidance and mentorship. If I can please ask Lindelwa Mahlalela to come to the stage.
Okay. Can I start? Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lindelwa Mahlalela from Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Before I start, can I ask, have you recently met a young person who does not know what an email address is? The majority of you will say no, but I can assure you that I have. I met a young girl who passed her matric with outstanding results, but had no idea what an email address is. See, the problem is not lack of opportunities, it is the lack of information. This means she was going to experience difficulties when applying at tertiary institutions. South African schools have issues such as lack of resources, lack of computer skills, and lack of mentorship for learners to make the right career choices. We are invested in Sustainable Development Goal 4, which is quality education. LeeConnect focuses to empower young people to further their studies by offering services to assist with university applications, extra classes, growth sessions, grade 12 mentorship, and CV writing. We help young people transition from high school to tertiary institutions by providing access to information and resources. Our LeeConnect extra classes has assisted a grade 12 learner to obtain first position in the White Hazel district. We have been tutoring him since grade 10. Our LeeConnect growth sessions have assisted a young girl called Motsepe Foundation to enroll in an experimental program in Iceland. LeeConnect helps young people to reach their full potential. We have assisted 756 learners in 2021, and 541 learners were females, which resulted to our 71% of women empowerment. Our grade 12 program has 90% females as mentors. LeeConnect has helped learners to be the first people that are accepted in universities in their families. We are here to change lives. We have 4 simple steps in the LeeConnect process. We create awareness through various platforms. The learners connect with us and we tell them about the required information. The learner will make a payment and applications proceed. Turnover for 2021 was 47,600 with gross profit margin of 83.4%. Estimated turnover for 2022 is 75,000. Our current customers come from all the 9 provinces of South Africa, but the majority are from Limpopo, Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, and Mpumalanga. These are provinces that are not exposed to technological advancements. Our goal is to help graduates transition to workplaces by assisting with CV writing, interview skills, and job applications. We have recently assisted people with CVs and interview skills, and they were successfully hired at retail shops around South Africa. We want to expand our business to reach more learners and to create job opportunities. There are 100,000 learners that need assistance every year. We need laptops and business mentorship to work on a bigger scale. If LeeConnect can assist 1,756 learners with minimal resources, imagine what we can do with your help and enough resources. Special thank you to the Motsepe Foundation for this amazing opportunity. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Lindelwa. I forgot to actually comment that you all look so beautiful. Can we clap for that? At your age, I didn't have so much confidence, so big ups to you for that.
Thank you very much.
I just have clarification questions. You say you were tutoring grade 10.
Yes.
So what grade do you tutor? I'll just ask a few questions and you can, to save time.
Okay.
What grades do you tutor and what do you tutor them on? You are the only person in the company. Do you do all this yourself? And I think you charge 50 rand per student.
Yes.
It sounds affordable to me. What does it buy? Like you talk about assisting them with accommodation in your pitch, logistics, travel to the university, applying to the universities. Just give a picture that clarifies those areas so that I can understand the business better. Thanks.
Okay. In our extra classes, we assist learners from grade 1 to grade 12 because there are learners that need extra help than the lessons that they get in school. And then I was currently the only person that was doing all the work and all the applications, but I have recently have 3 volunteers which are graduates, and they are in the program just to gain experience, and this is a learning opportunity for them to also gain skills that they can use in future and also use in their CVs when they apply for jobs. And then for the university applications, we charge 50 rand. And for the extra classes, we also charge from 50 rand. But then it depends on the high demand subjects, such as mathematics and physical science. That's where the prices start to increase. Yes.
Thanks. And congratulations on reaching up to this far.
Thank you.
My question is on how do you reach the learners? And I think just like the previous question that I asked the other lady, how do you bridge connectivity issues?
Okay. So during lockdown, everything was online. So we used that to our advantage. We advertise our business on Instagram, all the social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp, and LinkedIn. So that's where the learners can get our details and see the work that we do. And sorry, what was the other question?
Connectivity. It's how is your, in terms of your program, is it accessible free or the channels that you are using?
Okay, so we recently partnered up with a software developer called Lindelwa. So we use this app to see which courses the learners qualify for and in which universities they qualify for. So once you download the app, you can get our contact details there anytime. So it's always free to use.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lindelwa. I think you guys are doing amazing work. I don't know if you can hear me properly with this mic.
Yes,
I wanted to ask you about what's the most challenging thing that you've experienced with the students that you are tutoring? Because you talk about growth and personal growth. So what's the most challenging thing you've experienced there? And then the second question is, how do you think you can scale up? So right now you're basically running the business alone with some volunteers.
Yes.
How viable will the business be if you have to add 2 more or 3 more individuals? Do you foresee some problems in the financials?
Okay, thank you for the question. One of the biggest problems that we have experienced is being an online business. So it's very hard for people to gain trust and to send money first before we actually assist them with applications. So being an online business has been very challenging. So that's when we decided to use the achievements of the other learners that we have assisted and start posting them online, so that whenever a person comes to us, they can also see the work that we have done the previous years or the previous months. And then in that way, they are able to gain confidence that, no, this is a real company, because there are a lot of scammers online. And then the second one is that we can be able to, I think the greatest thing that we need right now is to have an office, to have a space to our name, so that people can come to us when they need help. And I think it will also eliminate the challenge that we have. It will help other people to create trust with us, and then they will know that even if it's an online business and they do not have an office in Eastern Cape, but there's an office in Johannesburg that is accessible, and they can come there and give us their complaints or give us their documents. And I think working on a bigger scale, we will need to, just like the 3 volunteers that we have, train people so that they can gain skills, and also give them opportunities to work in the company so that they can also be assisting other people. Yes.
Just a follow-on question. In terms of the amount of money that you have invested, can you share that with us? And what will you need to reach the scale, the scale that you want to reach?
Sorry, can you please ask again?
The amount of the capital that you've invested in this business, and how much will you need to reach the scale that you want to reach?
Believe it or not, I only used my cell phone with free internet connection in the library, in my local library. So that's how I started this business. So, yes. Because I started with helping a friend, and then I saw that other people were now coming, and then it was an NPO organization. And during lockdown, we couldn't maintain the costs that were needed to run the organization. So that's where we started to develop a business structure for it to be a business, so that we can be able to help more learners and work on a bigger scale. Yes.
Oh, well done. Another question is, you say you're in the 9 provinces.
Yes.
Where do you have the most number? Are you able to tell?
The most number is in the Eastern Cape.
Eastern Cape.
Yes,
Okay.
and I have a lot of parents from the Eastern Cape calling me to make sure that, asking me, how are you going to get the documents? How are you going to get the payment? Where are you? Can I meet you? And it's very difficult for me to say, no, we cannot meet. I'm currently in Mpumalanga, but as long as you have a smartphone, you can take pictures of everything. You can use your phone to send me the money, and I'm here. Yes. Yeah.
As long as they send you the money.
It's like-
I just want to ask about load shedding. Has load shedding had any impact on your business? If not, what is the biggest risk that you face in your business?
Load shedding has been a serious problem, especially when we have scheduled applications with the learners, because some universities require you to have the learner on standby, because they're going to send them an OTP pin and they'll have to send it to me. So around 7, that's where like most learners are online, they're back from school and they're able to connect, but then there's no load shedding. So the internet connection is very slow. So we have had a very big problem with that. But what I had to do is postpone the scheduling of applications, and sometimes we have to work until late, like around 3 a.m. because that's where I am available and that's where there's no electricity. And I also have to consider the learner, where they stay and the area that they're staying in, if there's load shedding or not. So it has been a problem, but we managed to maneuver around that.
That's excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, there was the biggest challenge. I'm being reminded by Rafilwe that I asked you 2 questions. So any from the students, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I also think the biggest challenge from the students was them always asking me, are you a scam? How can I trust you with my money? And then what I did was I used an application to create posters of the learners that are already in universities and their testimonies, to send them to them that this is what we do, this is the person. You can even contact the person if you are doubtful about our services. And once they get that assurance from the learners, because I also talk to the learners before I give out their cell phone details. So once they talk to the learners, they are able to be comfortable and confident to come with me and work with me. Yes.
I think everyone is happy with your answers. So I think we will allow the MC to come back. Thank you so much, Lindelwa. Well done.
Thank you very much. Our third and final pitch is from Digital Girl Africa, a company that's building an e-learning marketplace that rewards women each time they learn, work and or play online through an embedded token. And it also uses AI tech to provide women with a personalized learning experience. Ian Mangenga, the stage is yours.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I'm just going to my stopwatch here. Yes. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ian Mangenga, and I'm the founder of Digital Girl Africa, an e-learning platform that bridges the gap between women in tech and Africa through digital skills training and building social tools together. Digital Girl Africa is a project that's very close to my heart. Besides the fact that I wanted to start a business and I'm passionate about empowering women, I was solving a problem that I experienced myself. After participating in the Fees Must Fall protest, I realized that there was so much reliance we were placing on traditional educational systems that were both not serving the current changing world of work, and also they were providing education that is so unaffordable for a lot of Black women in the country. So with Digital Girl Africa, I started hosting boot camps and workshops with a particular focus on digital skills because I felt that it was necessary for us to provide women with not just opportunities for them to navigate information and resources for them to navigate the digital economy, but also give them skills that would make them relevant in the changing world of work. So by doing that, help them future-proof their skills. To date, we have trained approximately 2,500 women across the country and have also built a community, an online community of more than 12,000 women. What I love about Digital Girl Africa, and I'll be honest, I am a designer by heart. I'm a creative. And I'm not so crazy about coding. And I do not like how all similar organizations force women to code. The truth is, technology is changing how everything is working, and as we're stepping into the creators economy, we need designers, we need illustrators, we need filmmakers, we need photographers. Not everyone needs to code. And Digital Girl Africa has been making technology sexy since 2018. And through that's, I think, how we've been able to build our community. And another thing that makes us unique is that we are able, or rather we've been able to take high-tech concepts and infuse them with women's daily practices, making any woman from any walk of life realize that a smartphone in your hand is a transformative tool that can provide you with access to information, opportunities, and even open up doors for you to create your own business. So one of the things that we're creating right now is a funnel that can allow us to take our alumni and plug them into various work opportunities. We've piloted this in 2020 because during the pandemic, we had to move our classes online. And to date, we've been able to generate a revenue of over 350,000 and also place around about 10% of the women that we've trained in part-time and permanent work positions. So I know that Digital Girl Africa is a formula that works, and I know that it's been able to empower not just myself, but a whole lot of women around me. Thank you.
Well done, Ian. You talk about in your presentation about 5 cities. Is your program accessible in rural areas? That's the first one. You also talk about access to devices to decrease e-waste.
Yeah.
How has that worked? And lastly, the 350K, what's the split in terms of the different things that you do?
I'll try to remember all the questions that you asked me. So the first one was around.
The access to rural women?
Yes. So that has been one of our biggest challenges. But what I've done personally to try and mitigate that is being able to provide the content through PDFs, because then that way women don't have to stay online all the time in order to engage with the content. And also social media. I always emphasize that don't just be on Facebook to share selfies, but like try and figure out what you can learn. So during lockdown, we hosted our lockdown digital campus. So it was a way for them to kind of access the information, although I do think that we can definitely bolster up in that area of reaching more remote women. And then when it comes to the split of the revenues generated, so as I said, we piloted the women that were trained, because I realized that these women get the skills, and then because they don't have strong networks around them, they still don't know where to apply them. So how about we create an in-house studio where we can go to organizations and different companies and pitch work to them, and then when they give us their budgets, we then use our in-house alumni to carry out the work. So I would say around 70 to 80% of our revenues generated did come from that model. And then the rest of that came from people paying for different classes, like training corporates on various social media and digital marketing skills. And then when it comes to the device drive, it's a campaign of ours that is called Switcher. And it ties back to the first questions that you asked me around access to this content and the platform that we're creating. We're unable, unfortunately, to reach a lot of women in rural areas because besides digital literacy, the lack of, which is something that we're tackling directly, and high cost of connectivity, which is something we can't deal with, the cost of devices is a big challenge and is one of the contributors to the digital gender gap. So we came up with a campaign called Switcher, where we want to develop a platform where people can borrow, swap, and buy devices that have been donated by the general public, because most women or people as a whole that come from middle income households and higher have 2 or more devices sitting around at home. So the whole idea behind that campaign is to say, okay, how about you, instead of letting your phone sit in the back, gather some dust in the cupboard, how about you empower the next person? But because we also want women to take an initiative and be self-starters, we would be renting these out at ridiculous prices of like 50 Rand, 20 Rand, 10 Rand, because it's actually not about making the income, it's about increasing access to these devices.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story and your idea. It's actually a wonderful business. I mean, listening to you now, in awe as what you've achieved. Can you just share with us in terms of what was your net profit on the amount that you've made, and was it only made in 2021?
Currently, our net profit, bringing like accumulatively for the past 2 financial years, it's around just below 850. 900,000 there.
Thank you. Wow. I just want us to share, can you share with us the number of learners that have benefited? And I like the fact that you say you are making technology sexy. Because for every woman out there, technology is a scary world. We get told that it's a man's world.
Yeah.
Women cannot survive.
Exactly.
So big up for you for doing that. And my other follow-on question is, in terms of your competition, who's your competition and your growth trajectories or strategies? And as well as, the last one is to just check if, in terms of your academy, if it's accredited or if you are on the road there.
Yeah. Okay, I'll tackle the first question first. So, as I've said, we've trained approximately 2,500 women. So that's split between teenagers, young women, and also more recently we've been working with domestic workers because we felt like it was important for us to not forget about older people that would not otherwise have access to these opportunities. And then the second question was... can you please remind me?
Competition.
Oh, competition. So existing competitions right now, I would not say that similar organizations like Girl Code are competition because we're very diverse and we don't just offer programs that are targeted at hard tech skills. And so I don't consider them a competition, but who I do consider competitors are other institutions that offer like creative and tech courses online, like your Coursera's, your Udemy's, your Udacity's.
Thank you so much, Ian. I love the fact that everyone here is in the digital space, and all three of you have shown us that young women definitely have a massive role to play within that. So big ups to that. Where is the training done for the actual business? When do you do the training? Is it online?
Yeah, when we started, it was physical, and then during COVID, we turned into a hybrid space. Well, hybrid boot camps and workshops, so some online with maybe one face-to-face encounter, but now everything is online and based on our website.
Okay, and then now that it's online, tell me, is this automated training or who does the training? And just explain to me the actual training that you do. Who in the company does the training? How many trainers do you have? Or is it just yourself who does the training? Just explain the model around. Do you hire people and so forth?
So we have a peer-to-peer learning model where it's under a project called DGA XYZ, and it's collaborating with Generation XYZ experts, because we feel like even Gen Zs know a lot about technology that they can teach us. So we collaborate with experts and then we co-create the content with them. So so we have the set programs that we create, maybe with like a financial person, they will come, but everything is pre-recorded, but we also schedule a time for like face-to-face not face-to-face, online live interaction with the individual, but then the content stays on the website for people to revisit whenever and as they please. And then our other experiences, like with the domestic workers, for instance, that's more, it's a highly curated sort of learning experiences where we tackle their specific needs. So we can't just take a program that we created for young unemployed women and share it with them. So we build it step to step with the particular clients, because sometimes clients want to focus on a specific subject.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you for that. And then I just have a top-up to that. Mm-hmm. If I'm a domestic worker and I want to do a course from Digital Girl Africa, so take me through the process. How much do I pay? So I'd go online, Google Digital Girl Africa, and then afterwards, what can I do with the course?
So, okay, so luckily in the past we didn't have to market to domestic workers because we work directly with domestic worker trade unions, so they would bring their members to us. But now on the platform, you go on www.digitalgirl.africa, you go under the academy, and under the academy there's different courses. There's basic, intermediate, advanced, and the DGA XYZ, which is more interactive and fun type of courses. And then you can go through the programs online. You can even download the PDFs if you wanna go through it at home. But unfortunately at this moment we have not integrated a WhatsApp service yet, but that's something we're working on. And yes, we are working on getting accredited by MICCETA.
I thought you had forgotten about my question.
Thank you. We've got exactly 1 second left. And that's where we leave it for now. It's now time for the judges to deliberate on the incredible pitches that you've heard so far. There has been a table reserved for you outside. I think Fumisa is going to take you there. For our online audience watching, this is also your time to vote for who you think should walk away with that 80,000 Rand prize. We'll be back shortly.
Hi, everyone. And hi, Trevor. My name is Rose Mutau. I'm also a former bursar of the Motsepe Foundation, who is a metallurgical engineer graduate from the University of Johannesburg. So, Trevor, as a young person, or rather as young people, we're still growing, and as we're still embarking on this life's journey, I would like to know what was the best piece of advice, looking at how far you've become, what is the best piece of advice that you've ever received in your life? And also, why do you consider that as the best advice?
Let me see. Okay, Rose, I think if I was to choose one piece of advice, best piece of advice I ever got for myself was from my mom. One day, I was washing the dishes, and I hated washing the dishes. I hated doing everything. I hated sweeping in the morning. I hated polishing the stoop. I hated doing the washing the clothes. I hated hanging the clothes on the line. I hated all the chores that I was told to do. And my mom told me to wash the dishes, and I washed them. And when I was finished, my mom came and she said, "Yes, Mom." And she said, "Let me see the dishes." And she looked at all of them, and she said, "Look at this glass. This is dirty." And she put it on the side. And she took a fork, and she said, "Bonala, bonala, is this clean?" And she put it on the side. And she took a plate, and she said, and she put it on the side. And she said, "You're going to wash all the dishes again." And I said, "Mom, why? There's only 3. She said, She said, "I found 3, which means there's other ones if I look more." She said, "You're going to wash them again." And I washed them all again. And she came back and she said again, "If I find 3 that are dirty in any way, you're going to wash them again." And she found 3 again, and I had to wash the dishes again. And now by this time, you can imagine my hands now are wrinkled, nutty raisins. Now I'm there, and the sunlight, I just smell like sunlight dishwashing liquid. And now I'm tired, I'm bored, I'm frustrated. And my mom came, the dishes were all clean. And she said to me, "What's the lesson you learned here today?" And I said, the lesson I learned is that my mom likes looking at dishes. And she said, "No." She said, "The lesson you learned here is that you don't like washing the dishes." I said, "I don't." She said, "So we're not, Trevor, you're lazy, right?" I said, "Yes, I'm lazy." She said, "If you're lazy, let me give you the best piece of advice." She said, "Always make sure that you do your job the best way possible. Anything you do, make sure you do it right. Make sure you do it like somebody's watching. Make sure you do it in a way where you know you'll never have to do it again." She said, "Because if you do things right in life, you're never going to have to do them again. You get to do them once and you get to do them properly. And whether you like it or not, it's going to work." And so she said to me, if you are lazy, the best thing to actually do is do things properly. And that lesson stuck with me in everything that I do now. When I clean the house, I clean it in a way where I go, I want to make sure that the thing is perfect. It doesn't matter. When I'm doing my show, I try to make sure that my script is as perfect as possible for TV. Whatever it is that I'm doing, I try to do it in a way where I don't have to do it again because of the lesson that my mother has taught me. And so these are things that I see in everything in life. That architect, when you are creating a drawing, don't think of that as a first draft. Think of that as the draft that you are creating for somebody. When you're working in your exams, when you're doing your masters, don't think of it as this is the first semester exam, this is second term, no, that is the exam. It's the only one you're doing. And I've learned in life, if you can try and do that for everything you do, not only will you achieve a greater level of success, but you will find yourself in a more rewarding position, because there's a self-fulfilling prophecy that starts to take place in your body and in your mind, where you start believing that you can do things well and you can do them properly. And so the best way I can put it is do everything, especially the things you don't like. Do them as if somebody's watching you. Become your own supervisor, and your life becomes exponentially better.
And I think that's where we leave it for now with our special guest, Trevor Noah, joining us from New York. Thanks so much for your time today, Trevor. So good to see you. Interesting, really deep questions that you posed today. A round of applause for our guests and the students on stage. Thank you so much. Welcome to the launch of the Motsepe Foundation's first ever Information and Opportunities Expo.
In partnership with all these organizations that are listed here, we want to provide you with that support as you find your feet, as you drive towards your goals.
It starts with education.
So I knew that education would give me freedom, and it's the foundation.
Your degree is just the beginning of the journey.
So when you are a brand putting up your CV, you need to start to think about the level of consistency.
Find that network and build that network. And it's not just in the workplace, build that network in your social media platforms as well.
I need to be more employable. Companies are going online, are going digital nowadays.
Come into the digital space. This is the future.
I am currently a data scientist, so I want to participate in foundations or vacation work where I can help young kids also develop their technology skills, programming.
And use those skills to develop themselves, to develop their countries, and to make South Africa the best place to live in the world.
What I can tell you is that starting a business is no joke.
Entrepreneur is hard, but it's rewarding. If you do something you love, you will see the results in years to come.
What drives you to be an entrepreneur? That is what keeps you going. So we speak of that as the North Star.
Because as an organization we believe that to deal with matters that are reflected in the SDGs, a big part of it starts with encouraging our youth to start their own businesses.
It's so important to actually see what talent is out there and how much entrepreneurship actually lies in this country. You know, it just gives you a huge amount of optimism and hope for the future.
It helps and encourages the youth to start their own business, not waiting for the government to give them something or waiting for a job.
But because of our parents sometimes, they discourage us and they tell us that no, you can't be this, you can be this, only because they don't have enough information.
I think it's quite important to really empower young people. I feel like that's all that's missing. I think young people already have the power, they already have the ideas, they're just missing the backing, the support from bigger business in order to grow.
And I'm quite happy to be part of this expo.
And not too long ago, I was one of these young people sitting in exhibitions like this, looking for career opportunities.
And it is very important to have such exhibitions because learners are really not aware of what's happening out there.
Post-COVID, this is one of the first opportunities that we've gotten to engage with them face to face.
We want to be part of the solution, and this exhibition affords us the opportunity.
Increasing our skills as youth, it's important to connect with the important stakeholders in the industry.
Having this opportunity to interact with companies that can offer me that internship or that work has been really a good opportunity.
Currently we have 1,000 ambassadors that work under Time Bank, and we're going to grow that by the end of this year to 2,000 ambassadors, which is obviously developing people in communities who just left matric.
Always make sure that you do your job the best way possible.
The ones that had strength and energy, they had a dream.
they had a vision and they had meaning and purpose.
As a young person, when you find employment opportunity, you don't find it for yourself. It's a financial freedom for yourself, but even for the family, even for the generation to come.
And so when they're educated, the idea is for them to actually give back to their own community. And so this is the community development, this is development of people, and this is development of households.
And I was the first people that were funded by the Motsepe Foundation bursary in 2014. Today, I'm a director of a law firm.
They don't just give you funds for your studies, they support you throughout. Even they care about your well-being as well.
And as you grow old, you move, you learn, you shift, you move differently. And sometimes, let me tell you, that table you are building your puzzle on shifts right underneath you. And you have to start from the beginning.
We are the future. No one can stop us.
The online poll. Do we have the results of the online poll before we announce the judge's decision with regards to the winner? Perhaps we'll take a look at that a little bit later on, as we also did ask people online to vote. Let's take a look. Okay. Someone did say if they could vote for everybody, they could, because everybody's presentations were excellent. I'd like to ask Dr. Precious Moloi Motsepe to make her way to the stage to announce who our winner is.
Give a round of applause to all our participants. Thank you so much. You guys are truly amazing. I don't think at your age I could even say what my name is, you know, where I come from and what I want to do, but this is incredible. It's really inspiring. And this being Women's Month, we've decided that we have a winner who gets 80,000 rands, goes home with the 80,000 rands, and hopefully they're able to do something with it, invest it in their company. But the runner-ups are also winners. So we will also give them something to go home with. So they will each get 40,000 rands. Okay. So just being here is a big win. You're all winners. And to our judging panel, wow, I couldn't answer your questions. So please give them a round of applause also. Thank you very much. In the past, we used to have big checks and what have you. I don't know if my judges can maybe come join me up here. I don't know, we don't have enough space here. In the front, okay. And then we'll, yes, that's right. So after much deliberation, I mean, you saw how long we all sat here waiting for them. The judges have decided that the winner for today's competition is LeeConnect.